This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast, created and hosted by Mark Hayward. This podcast will interview entrepreneurs, business owners, and people in their careers. We will delve into their journey to success, key life milestones, and go deep into their area of expertise. Get ready to learn from others' successes and failures. Today, we have Nick Phillips, who has 15 years worth of experience as a personal trainer and owns Love Fitness Studios. Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to talk about your, as I said, your key life milestones, your education, your experience, your expertise, and your future endeavors. But just one thing, I'm interested, how has COVID affected your different studios and different businesses as we now are in lockdown 3?
So COVID has changed my whole business, the whole model. Back in March, 26th of March, when Boris came on to the BBC and said all gyms must close, I didn't think twice about innovating my business. We'd had a gym for 9 years, so I had quite a large gym. Started off the boxing gym, then grew into a large gym. It's 7,000 square foot. It was. We were doing really well. The business was flying. Coming up to December 2019, we had a really strong year. But when Boris came on, I thought to myself, how am I going to keep that community together? I knew COVID wasn't going to be a 2-week thing. People were telling me, you'll be back open in 2 weeks, just ride the storm. And I knew there was something more. So I decided to go fully online. Now we started by Zoom. I started off teaching my tribe, my guys, from the garden. So I'd literally be doing workouts from the garden. I'd have a little stereo ghetto blaster. Problem with that was the internet kept dropping. The dog would come out. The kids were shouting in the window. So it wasn't very professional at all. So I then decided to turn our kids' playroom into a bit of a studio. So we did that. I did that for about probably about 3 months. And then I started to think, how can I make this experience even better? So all my time, my mind was thinking, how can I make this better? So I was looking what was out there on the market, on the online space, and I found it very corporate. I found it very boring. I found it very staged. So we decided to go fully and get a studio. So we created Love Fitness Studios in the Northern Quarter, which is a quite a hipster place in Manchester. We were in there for we got the business going. We were in there for about 2 months, and then we found out the business. We spent a fortune getting a set built in. You might see a bit of the set behind us: cameras, GoPros, sound systems. Yeah. We just got the business off the ground, and then we found out the business, the whole of the building had been sold to a very successful Manchester clothing company, and they wanted us out within 28 days. So we'd literally flipped our business. We sold the gym. We got rid of all the gym equipment. We worked so hard, me and my wife, 2020. We worked so hard flipping the business or innovating the business and going onto this online platform. Got set up in our studio, nice, lovely studio in the Northern Quarter. And then we found out that the building had been sold and they wanted us out as quick as we could. So that was tough, but we didn't think twice. We just looked what it was about. Most properties always want a month up front and they want to see your books and stuff. And we managed to find somewhere else in Salford Keys, and we literally worked around the clock to build the studio, which I'm sat in today. So yeah, I've sort of gone the long way around, but I used the whole COVID and I used the whole 2020 to innovate myself as a person and as a business. And I found something I absolutely love doing the way I'm doing it virtually. We've got clients all over the world now.
So I love the kit that you've got behind there, the cameras and the lights and stuff. It looks very professional. So this was a question I was going to ask you later on, but we're sort of on that place now. So how do you think people like Les Mills and Joe Wicks has sort of changed the fitness industry, online sort of videos, YouTube, various places to publish content? How do you think those people have actually changed the industry?
Feel like for me, you're always going to get gym goers. Now, gym goers, as soon as the gyms reopen, whatever tier we go into, they will find a gym and they'll go and train because they are gym goers. They love it. Now, there's a group of people that really want to get into the gym, but they don't know where to start. So training at home and working out in front of your screen and getting the knowledge from your likes of Joe Wicks or Les Mills or us, Love Fitness Studios, and giving you that confidence to actually work out and give you that sort of structure in your workout routine. Our whole mission with Love Fitness Studios is to try and get people into gyms, because we know there's so many people that want to train, but they might be scared of stepping foot. I know it's an intimidating place. You're talking to a trainer that's battled with weight all their lives. And I speak to people on a daily basis about getting them into a gym or getting them. So I think, like I say, I feel like there's always going to be gyms. There's always going to be people that will find a gym. There's gym goers. But there's so many people out there that want to do it, but they don't know where to start. And that's where your Joe Wicks and your Les Mills or your Peloton, they fit in nicely. So I called it last March. It has changed the way fitness will, the fitness industry will be. It's changed it forever. Now, I do feel there's enough space for everyone, online and offline. I miss training people on a sort of human basis. Like, I miss that interaction. And as soon as we get the go ahead, we're looking at doing pop-ups. But yeah, I feel like there's enough space for everyone. I feel like Joe Wicks has led the way, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of individual companies like ourselves coming through and putting our own little stamp on it. Peloton are great, Les Mills are great, but they're very, very their American style. There's not enough, for me, there's not enough connection. We're all about building connections and keeping that community together.
Fantastic. So let's go back to your education. So you did a diploma in personal training, health and physical education and fitness. Did you ever consider doing anything else, or was it just a passion that you just had to be involved in the fitness industry?
So I struggled with weight all my life. I was a large kid. When I was young, I just piled on the weight. I could not shift the weight. Then at about the age of 17, when you start getting into girls, and I decided to lose weight, and I did it the stupid way. I did it by not eating, basically. I just starved myself. I'd literally get to the point, I was working in a call center at the time, I'd get to the point where I'd nearly pass out just getting up, because I'd probably not eaten for a few days. I'd eat wine gums just to literally keep me moving. So I did it stupidly. I was having diet pills, and I'd go and do loads of cardio. So I lost all the weight, obviously, as you will do by not eating. And then I realized that's not a healthy way. So I was training at a gym, and I'm talking 16 years ago now. And a personal trainer, there wasn't a lot of personal trainers around then. Personal trainer came up to me and said, "Do you need any help with your workouts?" And I got to know him. And then from there, I thought to myself, what an amazing job, like actually helping people get results. I'm a complete and utter giver. I love helping people. So I want to be a personal trainer. I really want to be a personal trainer. The problem is I suffer with severe dyslexia. So I honestly thought I would not be able to get through the exams. My parents are very successful. My mum is a specialist breast cancer nurse. And my dad, unfortunately, passed away 10 years ago, but he was a GP. So I knew I had the backup to help me, but I always thought the problem was going to be the education side, exams, and personal training 15 years ago, 16 years ago, it was, you have to be there to do your diploma. It's none of this quick fix online. You had to sit there, exams, tests, and I just thought I'd never be able to do that. So I rang up a company called Premier Global, and I got on the phone to a guy called Doug, and I explained, I want to be a personal trainer. I've got the passion, but I'm going to struggle with my exams. I really do struggle with reading and writing. And he said, "Look, just come down and we will have a chat more in depth." Went down, absolutely loved it, started the course. And then we got to the exam part. When I sat down and did the exams, I did the best I could, filling out the forms and filling out the exams. And then Doug, my coach, would pull me into the room, and then he would ask me the questions again just to make sure I knew them and understood them. So yeah, I knew that was what I wanted to do, PT, and that was the biggest barrier I had, was getting through the qualifications and get that certificate. So yeah.
Okay, so your first role was in David Lloyd Leisure. So it's quite a premier place to start off your career as a personal trainer. Did you enjoy that environment?
The best time of my life. When we got qualified, I decided, I'm talking gyms weren't like they are now. There wasn't a lot of personal trainers about at all. So there's one gym in Manchester that had quite a few personal trainers. But I realised I need to be in London. So I'm a northern guy, Manchester guy, and we moved down to London, me and my friend that I met on the course. We moved down to a place called Streatham Hill. And we started working as like apprentices in this gym, which was a black label, fitness first. It was just on the outskirts of Brixton. And on the first week we were in there, we saw a big fight on the gym floor. And I thought to myself, this is not where I want to be. This is not the environment I wanted to be in. So we started looking for more jobs. And we were literally, me and my friend, we were literally just living in a little bed sit and just trying to survive down in the big smoke. And then a job came up, and it was at the flagship David Lloyd in Kensington. 30 of us went, and my friend went for the job, and me and another guy got it. So that was it. Started working for David Lloyd, the flagship. It was a beautiful gym. I think Jensen Button for the F1 drive used to train there when he was back from doing his thing in the cars. He used to come and train in there. So it was just a beautiful gym. I had a great time there.
And so then what made you want to set up Hub Fitness as an entrepreneur? What did you always want to do something entrepreneurial, or did it just fit the industry in the fitness industry?
So I was flying in London. I was the #1 trainer down there. Month after month, I was doing extremely well. I was training all sorts of really high successful clients. Loving it, absolutely loving it. Not even thinking about coming back to Manchester at all. And I remember the day. It sends shivers down the spine, but I remember the day. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I got a phone call from my brother. Now my brother was in the RAF, and they'd gone walking with my dad, who was 50, and my mum. And they'd gone to the Lake District and gone for a walk up the mountains. And my dad had a massive heart attack on the mountain, and passed away, unfortunately. My brother rang in absolute tears. So I moved back to Manchester just to help my mum, because Christine was in the RAF. So I just moved back, just saying to all my clients, look, I'll be back. I'm going to go back to Manchester. They all obviously understood. They were sending me like hampers from Hamleys and from Harrods, and they're just amazing people. You can imagine the clients I was training in Kensington and around that neck of the wood. And so I was planning on moving back to London because I was having such a good time there, but I needed to help my mum. She was really struggling with the death of my dad. So I joined a gym. I joined a gym just to sort of take myself away, and like every morning I'd go and train. When I was in the gym one day, I met a girl that I knew from school called Louise. And I said, do you fancy going out for a date? And she kept saying no at first, and then I managed to talk around. So while I was in Manchester, I went on a date with Louise. And then I realised I'd met the girl of my dreams. She had a house in Radcliffe, and I thought everything changed from then. So I'm going around, I'm taking on the long story because there's quite a lot to this story. Me and Louise got together and moved in. I turned her garage into a gym, literally a bit of a boxing gym. So my background is boxing, just for fitness, really. I've done a couple of white collar fights, but yeah, it's more fitness. I turned her garage into a bit of a gym. I started getting my friends down, and we started training in the garage, which the neighbours weren't too happy about. You can imagine 5 or 6 guys all punching in this garage, making an absolute racket. So we decided to then look for a space, and then we found this little factory, this tiny little factory, and everyone was saying to me, no, it's awful, it's scruffy, it's dirty. And as soon as I walked into this empty shell, I thought I can see potential here. So yeah, that's how the Hub Fitness started.
And so you weren't entrepreneurial as a sort of starting point. You weren't selling lemonade from lemonade stands.
Gary Vee. No, I definitely wasn't Gary Vee. No, struggled. No, I just had vision. I think for me, it was vision. Get to London, be a #1 trainer, train really good. Back to Manchester, turn the garage into a gym. I've just got this brain that I struggle with pen and paper, but I visualize things. When something drops for me, I was like, right, I focus fully on this. And that was it. We started off with the hub as just one room. It was just literally a room. I've got pictures of us in there 9 years ago with literally my family members just skipping, and just that's all. We had a skipping rope. And then we just built it and built it and built it, and we became a success. We won Small Business of the Year 1 year. But yeah, we just kept building and building and building and just kept hustling, basically.
So something my audience are really interested in is about the actual setting up of the business and how you do it and the sort of mechanics of that. So you said you started very lean. You started with one studio, and did you then build it to the point where you then needed a second studio because you were filled up on with all your slots? Was that how you sort of expanded it?
No, we sort of took it by room. So we had the opportunity to move into other spaces in this building. So we sort of started off as a boot camp, and then I realized I wanted to start doing some sort of spinning or cycling. So then we started another room, and we started off the cycle. Then we realized we wanted to go a bit more into weights, and so we built a room. So we just kept building. The problem that we had with that is it actually became too big. It was too big for me to control. I didn't have the systems in place. I didn't have any systems in place. It was literally just, we kept building it and building it. So it wasn't, we didn't sit down and think, right, we've got a plan of action here. We just got the ball rolling and see where it led. And that's how we built it, really. And then from the back of that, we set up our own business with another business, a spinning studio called Love Fitness Studios. And that was, sorry, Love Cycle. That's how it's all tied in now. So we had Hub Fitness, and then we had Love Cycle as well, which we did as pop-ups. So we were based in a part of the gym, but then we would pop up. So we did things like Manchester Marathon, and we'd do like live DJ events. So we do a lot of events with that side of the business.
So PR was an important factor for you, just to get out there and turn up to events and sort of showcase your business that way.
Yeah, definitely. And it was just down to networking. It was just down to literally getting to know people and knowing our clients. I call them a tribe, but knowing our tribe, knowing our clients and what areas they're in, and just getting to know them. I'm a real people's person, so I've really got a lot of time for people. My whole thing is like, how can I help you? And what can I do today to help you to get to your goal? So that was it, just networking, and that leads to that, and that's how that's the tiny little bit of success that we have, is just be a great person and just be out there to help, and then it leads on to other things.
So spin classes are now very popular. They're in multiple gyms. Any sort of size gym usually has a spin class. What was your USP for Love Cycle?
So back when I was working in David Lloyd in Kensington, I'm pretty sure I was one of the first people to put like a disco light in the room. We had this idea that spinning for me was a bit boring. It was a bit, like I say, I'm talking 15, 14 years ago here. It was a bit boring. It was every all dark rooms. And yeah, so I decided to put a disco light in there. So then that was me and David Lloyd. So my spin classes in David Lloyd become packed out, sold out every time you had to join a wait list. And then when I moved back to Manchester, obviously we've got the Hacienda, which is a nightclub in Manchester. I wanted to set up a Hacienda spinning room, so we did it all out like the Hacienda. We're talking before Soul Cycle here, before any of the big chains. So that's what I did. So I made I downloaded pictures of how the Hacienda used to look. Right. I did this room the same color. I built a stage. I got all the lighting done, and I created Hacienda spinning in our loves, and it just took off. It just completely took off. People absolutely loved it. Same again, it was packed out. I've got some pictures of that as well I'll have to share with you.
So just to let my audience who don't know Manchester, so Hacienda was like an indie club night that or place that was in the middle of Manchester. Yeah. So you decked out your studio in the same style, in the same look.
Same look, yeah. It's more dance music. It did the indie stuff as well, but yeah, for us it was more the dance. I used to love clubbing back in the day, so I wanted to create that whole endorphin kick that you're on a night out, but in a healthy way. So that was the whole thing with the hacienda spin. And from the back of that, I got pally with a few clients who are quite successful. I used to do, and they would sort of like give me business ideas. And then from that, we decided to go a bit more in depth with the spinning side. So we ended up not calling it hacienda spin. We ended up calling it Love Cycle, and we launched the brand Love Cycle. And same again, it was dead popular. People absolutely loved it, and that's how we sort of innovated. Now we do it all virtual now, so you can see behind me there's the spin back there, and above my head there's a 70-inch screen that I am talking back to my guys, and that's where it's different from the other maybe Pelotons of the world and stuff. We're actually interacting with our clients, so that's how we're doing spinning at the minute. Hopefully when we do lift from when gyms do get back to some sort of normality, we're looking at doing pop-ups. For me as a business, it's better for me to work out of a studio and then just go and have a space that I can rent out for maybe 3 or 4 days, use it as a pop-up, pack it out, fill it out, get the live DJ on the go, and then basically I've not got the overheads of having such a big gym anymore.
So how did you market this? What was your marketing strategy for let's just say Love Cycle?
A lot of it was word of mouth. We really we had to sort of learn Instagram. I think Instagram's our jam, if that's the right wording. That's where we spend a lot of our time. That's where we speak to a lot of our audience. We've only just recently started playing around with sort of Facebook advertisement, and we find that working for us with the big social media companies, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I've tried so many times, but yeah, word of mouth. That is the best way, and just giving an amazing service, just really getting to know your tribe, your clients, dropping them a message, just seeing how they're doing. Brilliant. Do you know anyone else that might really enjoy what we're doing? And that's how we've grown. If anyone posts on any on Facebook, we'll have a look, see who's commented on them posts, check if they're members. And we've built up, we've had over 4,500 people that have come to us over the years. And that's just from the physical gym. So obviously we've built up a strong email list. So we send out emails every single Sunday. That always goes out on a Sunday. So yeah, we've had to, same again, we didn't know strategy. We've had to learn as we go. So we've had to learn as we go. It's only now with the way we are doing business, we're putting things into place. Like I said, I never went to business school. I've had to learn on the job.
Did you ever contemplate or have a business coach to help you with the sales and marketing or the finances or hiring people? Did you ever have anyone to help you in that sense?
We've tried again, and it just did not fit. So the thing I do is listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of business books. I'm very passionate about audiobooks. I'm on a catch up because I did suffer severely with dyslexia. I feel like now audiobooks are so good. I've just got a list of business books that I try and I always make notes. I always make notes about what I can take from the podcast or from the audio books that I've learned. And it just, yeah. So no, I mean, I do feel like I should have a business coach. I feel like I should have someone guiding us in the right way, but I suppose it's just knowing who is the right person to go for. I think that's the biggest problem that I've had. So yeah, I've not got one at the minute, but it is someone I'd look at in the future. I have in the past gone over to America learning courses and trying to, it just doesn't fit with me. I feel like I'm a very hands-on person. We do have goals. Me and my wife, she's my business partner, we set goals every single week, every single day. We've got different targets. We need to what's actually going to move our business needle. That's what we work on. We try and outsource everything now. I've got 4 trainers that work for me. I've got an editor who is here from Salford Uni. He's just about to graduate, so he's a full-timer for me now. So we're just trying to delegate as much as I can so I can work on the actual business, and that's stuff like this, networking, growing my network as well.
So you are still involved in the day-to-day running. You still take classes. You still get involved.
Yeah, I still do the strong program. So that is 6 a.m. every single morning. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think I'll carry on doing that until I can't. But yeah, it sets me up for the day. So I do that side of things. But we have delegated anything else now, so I don't do any evening classes. I don't have to worry about editing any videos anymore. Editing our podcast, I've got an editor, so they're taking control of that. So all the mistakes I made in the first business with the hub and Love Cycle. Now we've combined both businesses into Love Fitness Studios and gone fully online. It's like we're having another reset with business. It's like we're building the foundations up again, and this time we want to try and build them absolutely strong as ever, anything by delegating, putting things into place.
So you scaling your business, or being online and not having the physical studios, are you thinking that it's going to be easier to, well, not, it's not easy to scale a business, but are you thinking that you would like to scale, if you've got, I don't know, making up the numbers, 5,000 people in your tribe, you want 50,000, 150,000? Is that the aim, to be able to scale your business?
So we're on a personal mission of Love Fitness Studios, is to try and impact 10,000 people. That is my goal. The reason why I use 10,000 people, because we have 5 steps at Love Fitness Studios. Step 1 is this. It's water. Most people walk around dehydrated. If I ask them, I put it out there on LinkedIn all the time. I put it out there to my tribe. How much water have you had today? So that's step number 1. So that's why I've always got water with me. Is trying to hydrate people. Step number 2 is getting your 10,000 steps in a day. So 10,000 steps is the best way to lift the mood. It's the best way for fat loss. It's the best way to put some headphones in and listen to a podcast. Go and see some nature. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is doing some sort of physical exercise, whether it is Love Fitness Studios, Les Mills, Joe Wicks, whoever it is, as long as you're doing some sort of physical exercise at least 3 times a day. Eat real food. That's step number 4. So make sure it's single ingredient food. And then last step is get a good night's sleep. Make sure you've got a sleep pattern. So our mission is to try and help 10,000 people follow our 5 steps. Now you can go onto our back end of the website and you can track all of that free of charge. How much water have you had today? How many steps have you done today? So that is my mission. That's my personal mission. And that's why I want 10,000, because of the steps. So yeah, I feel like this is an easier way for me to scale. The fitness side of things is such a small thing of what I do as a coach. It's more about the impact, especially the way the world is at the minute, with most people working from Zoom and not actually getting out and seeing some nature and getting them steps in. That is our message. That is my message. I'm not too concerned about the training. The training is amazing, and the endorphins are kicking. And yes, they are going to get you strong and change your body scope. It's more how people feel up here, and we start with water. So that is my mission, to scale up of this business. I'm out to serve. I'm out to help people. So yeah, I'm just trying to reach as many people as I can, and the conversation starts with how hydrated are you today.
And so, have you thought about who your ideal client is? Who's the person you're talking to? The majority client. Who is that?
So our avatar it's changed since we had a gym. Obviously, our avatar when we had a gym, it's people that were into the gym. My avatar now is the person that sat behind the computer or made them promises back in January or whenever it was, to say, this year I'm going to get myself sorted, I'm going to get myself fit, and they just don't know where to turn for it. I speak to people on a daily basis that are sometimes in tears to me, that they're fed up with the way they feel. They're fed up with putting on weight after year. So that is my message, is to speak to these people. It's the ones that are scared to go into gyms or just don't know which way to turn, and just guide them the right way. And like I keep saying, it's starting with water. Before we try and overcomplicate things with the way to train, the nutrition, start with water, start with steps, and we're on the right path. So yeah, my avatar now is people that might be sat behind the computer and I really want to know, I really want to feel better by maybe the summer, by next Christmas. Do you know what I mean? I always ask people to focus on, how do you want to feel maybe when the lockdown lifts and the beer gardens are open and you're seeing your mates for the first time in 6 months or a year? How do you want to feel? Do you want them to say, you look really good? Or do you want to feel like sluggish? I don't really want to go and meet them because that top doesn't fit great. I'll put a load of weight in and lockdown. And we did statistics, and I think I'll have to drag them out. We put them into LinkedIn about how many people put weight on over the first lockdown, and it was mind blowing. And how many people are feeling down over lockdown. And like I say, if we can change that by steps and listen what you're listening to podcast wise, it's such a powerful thing.
So what's your view on water versus other drinks, squash, tea, coffee? Is it consumption of liquids, or does it depend? Is it very important on the water side?
Yeah, water. So yeah, water, 100%. Tea, coffee will dehydrate you. So you want to stay away from that. And then stuff like juices and sugary stuff like that. Obviously, in an ideal world, and I completely get it, people don't enjoy drinking water. Sometimes we need to do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. Juices and stuff like that, I try and stay away from that as much as I can. I've got 2 young boys. I wouldn't tell them not to have it, but I wouldn't go out and buy it. But yeah, if you can get yourself into drinking mineral water, or whatever water you choose, it's a massive difference. You'll feel it brain wise, you'll feel it skin wise, you'll feel it so much better. Our bodies are made up from water. 80%, over 80% of us are water. We just most people walking around dehydrated.
So you've mentioned a couple of times about books and audiobooks and podcasts. I'm completely passionate with audiobooks. They have changed the way I must admit I'm struggling now in COVID, because I was listening on my commute there and back. I would easily spend 2 hours a day listening to audiobooks. But maybe name a couple, if you can think off the top of your head, that have made a great impact on you personally or professionally?
So the last book I have read is, pardon my French, Get Your Shit Together. No, it's not. It was You're a Badass. You're a Badass, I think it's Jen Sicario, I think she's called.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed her. So I wanted to go a bit more heavy on the money side of things. So that was a personal goal of mine, to understand money a bit better. So I looked in the book world what was there, and she's got a book called You're a Badass Money Making Machine, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. But she was brilliant. So I listened to that first one, You're a Badass at Making Money, I think it's called. So I listened to hers. I absolutely love it. I love the ones that talk and they're like either come from a comedian background, and they make it fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Books that really stand out to me, I give up alcohol about 2 years ago. 2 years in September it'll be, and alcohol lied to me. Now the reason why I mention that is stopping alcohol was a massive game changer for me, for the way I function as a person. I feel like if we would go back to the story about lockdown and Boris coming on, I think if it was the old way, my mindset would have been, I would have just got drunk, and then I would have woke up the next day thinking, just ride the storm, we'll be all right. My mindset wasn't in a great place. So Alcohol Lied to Me was a really powerful book that changed my life, basically. I wasn't ever an alcoholic or anything, but I was never functioning I wasn't firing on all 4 cylinders, if that's the right word. If I'd had a drink, and it'd be most weekends where you'd have a drink, and like I say, any sort of negative news, which that obviously was, me and my wife would just think, let's drink it, let's forget about it, let's just drink. So that was a big book. I love stuff like Ant Middleton's books. I think he's done some good stuff. I know. But yeah, I love a good autobiography. I do love a good autobiography. So Richard Branson, I remember reading his. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think, when you put it on the spot about what.
Yeah, no apologies about that.
I think there's so many. I could pull my phone out and go through loads. But yeah, they're the books that I've enjoyed recently.
Fantastic. What's your view on exercising first thing in the morning? Is that the preferred time? Because you hear a lot of the, if I say the influencers, well, I hear a lot of people who are business influencers that say first thing in the morning, doesn't necessarily have to be an hour, but a light exercise every day is the best way to kickstart a day. What's your view about when to exercise? Morning, lunchtime, dinner time, evening? What's the most for optimal performance and mindset and health? When is the best time?
Morning, 100%. For me, now everyone's different. Some people are morning people. The reason why I say morning is because it's giving you that routine, especially in the world we're living now with lockdown. That was the big thing when we went virtually. I wanted to still try and create. You're still going to a class. You're still going to a class. So, for example, before our classes start, we've got a screen that's got all our 5 tips: water, steps. Our 5 tips for success, and then we've got music playing in the background. I'm welcoming people into the class, talking to them on a human, like getting to know them a bit more. So for me, for morning, you get that. Getting out of bed is the first challenge that most people think. Like Monday morning, I should go down and exercise in front of the screen, but I can't be bothered. My bed is too comfy. It's too cozy underneath the quilts. So I always say to myself, to any client side, I want you to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get one foot out the door and get out. Yeah. So first thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, out your bed, and then go straight to the bathroom and splash some water on your face. That will wake you up. Next thing, water. So we're gonna work out. So I'm creating these habits to these people and that is the game changer for me as a coach. I'm creating the habits of, they're in lockdown, they know they've got to do homeschooling, they've got to worry about COVID and work and all these stresses. But if I can make them super powerful for that first hour while the kids are still in bed, the husbands, the wives are still in bed, and I can change their mindset for their first thing in the morning, that is a game changer. And that is why we've built this business successfully in a lockdown, is by changing habits first thing in the morning. So get out of bed, get your water, get in front of a class. And as I'm teaching the classes, I am talking to my guys like, guys, this is such a small bit of what I want you to do today. You've done the first thing, give yourself a pat on the back. You've got out of bed, you're exercising, we're drinking at least water first thing in the morning, but I still need you to get my 5 steps in. So yeah, for me, and for I think a lot of my tribe, now we do have nighttime classes, the morning ones are a lot more busier. For me and for my wife and most of my tribe, it's that morning habit. So yeah, I scientifically wise, I don't know. I try not to go into too much science with exercise. That's not my thing. It's more about getting people feel better.
And so you're now under the banner Love Fitness Studios, which is the whole brand, the cycling, the weights, the classes. Is Nick Phillips the brand, or is Love Fitness Studios the brand?
Love Fitness Studios. The reason why we've got a U in the middle of the V and the L, it's because it's all about you. It's all about the community pulling you in together. It's not about me. It's about the community side of things. And that's what Love Fitness Studio is all about. It's the community. It's knowing that you've got people there to pat you on the back or to pick you up. I love the wins that people share in our community group. I love it when people say, I've lost this or I've shared this. But the thing that I absolutely love about Love Fitness Studios, I keep using that word, is when someone puts in the group, I'm having a really bad day, I'm having a really bad week, and then they just literally get lifted off the floor by 30, 40, 50 members that are just like, boom, and they're like, right, thanks for that, I'm back on track. And that's it. No one gets left behind at Love Fitness Studios. So it's about that LUV, but having that U right in the middle, stamped in there with everything pulling it in together.
It's really interesting thinking about your 5 different steps of how to be healthy. And I must admit, like, especially in lockdown, I've struggled with my fitness, because I was going to the gym 2-3 times a week and quite a healthy guy. I had a PT trainer for 6 months and it was really going well. But lockdown comes in, you're at your desk, you're on Zoom all the time. You don't have that commute where you walk to the station, or so my steps dropped. Obviously in and out of the gym because of COVID and stuff like that. So from a very personal point of view, I find it interesting that you're saying other things, but you're saying you need your 10,000 steps as well as regular exercise as well. What's the sort of methodology behind, or what's the idea behind doing both? Because as a layman, I would think 10,000 steps or do exercise? Why is it in the package of your 5 steps you do both?
The steps are above the exercise. So our 5 steps are water, steps, exercise, nutrition, and then sleep. So in an ideal world, yes, you are going to get amazing results by just going out for steps and hydrating yourself and making sure that you're eating single ingredient food. For your bones, your ligaments, your tendons, your joints, you do need to do some sort of physical exercise. You do need to do some sort of resistance training, whether that's body weight or you've got some dumbbells at home or you use a PT. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's got to go both in. It's got to go both in. The steps for me now come second to nature. Do you know what I mean? And they do for most of my tribe. That is the time for you to really focus on yourself. Get out, see nature, see something that's going to, do you know what I mean? Just get fresh air. For me, that is so important, so important. So resistance wise, physical exercise wise, that is for your tendons, your joints, your bones, to build strong muscles. But yeah, in an ideal world, you would do both. Now, there is the burnout. So I always say start with about 3 classes if you can. Let's see how you feel. Some people drop down, some people step it up, but it's very interactive. Some people have got injuries, so we do a lot of stretching as well. So that's classed as a class. So we have a professional dancer that comes in and she just spends 30 minutes stretching you out from home. So yeah, it's finding that, I like to say, the balance. But yeah, for me, hydration and steps, they're the 2 main things. Then the resistance, then the obviously really thinking about what you're consuming and why you're consuming this food.
And we've kind of touched on it without explicitly talking about it. So I'd just like to talk about mental health. So obviously lockdown has affected people. From my friends and people that I know, people seem to have gone 2 ways. You've either got now people that have more free time that are running, exercising, and they look great, or in lockdown, everyone's eating, drinking badly, and you've put on weight. So from a mental health point of view, just explain, like, obviously the endorphins you get from exercising, you get fresh air, which is fantastic for the walking, but how is sort of mental health, how have you packaged part of your deal with your tribe, the issue of mental health as well?
I've not really stepped too far into it because obviously that's not my expertise. All I know is the power of the endorphin kick can put you in a great mood, and the power of what you listen to can put you in a great mood, and who you circle yourself around. You circle yourself around positive people. So I do a morning chat every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live on our Instagram page, and I'm just literally talking about how I feel that day. So that's early mornings, 25 to 5. I do that, and I found that that's really helped a lot of people as well. But the mental awareness, I don't really. There is on the back end of our website. How are you feeling? From a few different chats, like feeling good, and if someone feels like they need help, it will alert us, and we can get over the phone to them and speak to them. It is an area where I feel like as the brand grows, I will like to work on that area and maybe get someone in to help me, like I am with the nutrition side of things. I'm bringing a nutritionist in to speak a bit more about healthy habits, rather than them telling you what you should be eating, the healthy habits side. So I would like to bring maybe someone in for the mental health side and bring them healthy habits in. But yeah, I don't really touch too much on that because it's such a sensitive area. But I'll always be there to reach out to any of my tribe guys or anyone. If anyone, I always finish my talks by, if you need me for anything, please reach out to me. Have a beautiful day. That's how I always finish my talks, and people do reach out. So if you put yourself out there to say, look, if anyone's down, and I'll always check in. I have like a 3-step process. How are you feeling today? Lost my mojo, 50-50, or I'm completely on it. So I'll always put these out, and then if I'm seeing lots of ones, which is like I'm lost my mojo, I'll get them on the phone. I've got one at 2:00 today. I'll ring her up. How are you doing? And just try and understand where she is. So I'll just try and keep it very personal to the guys and girls.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about your podcast. You said you're still, well, you're number 14 or 15, you said. Yep. So how's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Loving it, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, I'm just being an absolute sponge, and I'm just soaking up everything that people are giving, like sharing their stories. I tried setting one up when I had the old business, and it just wasn't. I always find that there was always something to do. There was no structure. Whereas every single Friday, that's the day for us to shoot. We're only on YouTube at the minute. I do need to convert everything onto Spotify and Apple. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So we speak to all sort of people, business owners, people that have done well in fitness industry, and just find out the stories. We've done quite a lot of boxers, find out the stories. But I just love connecting with people. I love speaking to people and hearing their stories. So it's me being a little bit selfish with the podcast. I just it's a passion that I'm really, really enjoying.
Look, I'm not plugging myself, but when we jump off this, let's just have a quick chat about podcasting. It's really easy to set up the podcast. We can just have a quick 5 minutes after that. But so what's for the future? What's the plans for Love Fitness? What's the plans for you, Nick, as a businessman, as a personal trainer? What does the future hold?
So the future hold, I mean, the reason why I get out of bed every single morning at 10 to 4 every single day, apart from Sundays, I want to build a strong future for my children. I want to build a future of memories for my children. I've got 2 small boys, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. They are my world. Now, I told you the story about my dad. He was actually my stepdad, but I class him as I call him my dad. My real biological dad said he was going on business. I was only 2, my brother was 3, and he never came back. And then he never came back. That was it. He's gone. I've never spoke to him ever again. So then my mum remarried, and who I class as my dad, Dr. John Phillips. That's my dad. But I don't even class this other person as my dad. How you could just 2 children like that. So my whole thing in getting up every single day is building a future for my children. Now, it's more memories than anything else. I do want them to be successful in their own ways, but it's more memories. So we've got a bucket list of places we want to go, from going on safari in Kenya, and also, so every single day I work towards that. And that is where I want to build this business into a successful business that I can spend more time with the children. I want the systems in place. I want to try and help as many people as I can with our 5-step process. But I want to build a strong business that I can, if I need to go away for a bit, or if I need to. It was getting to the point with the old business model that I wouldn't even be able to go and see my kids train doing football. I won't be able. It was like, I'm gonna have to stop that because I need to go and teach that class, or I'm gonna have to start. And one of my kids, he loves his sport and he's doing really well with his sport. But I was thinking to myself, I can't take him there because I need to be at work. So that for me doesn't work. That's why this whole business model. After I finish most days about 2-3 o'clock now, because I want to go and pick the kids up. I'll pick them up from school when we're not in lockdown. I want to spend that time really engaged. So my future is just helping as many people as I can. We've got a 10,000 mission, and getting them healthy habits in, and just build a strong future for my family. That memories more than anything.
Fantastic. Okay, we're coming to the end of the podcast. I asked the same 6 questions to all of my guests. They're quick fire questions. They don't need quick fire answers as well. It's been discussed. It's been said to me that it's quite thought provoking, but I'll let you be the judge of that. What's the best decision that you made?
Best decision I made. I'm not going to go the easy ones. I married my wife. Best decision I made, going online.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
Drink your water.
Who's helped you most in your career?
A guy called Simon Showman. He's a guy I've always sort of looked up to. He was a client of mine. And he gives me a bit of business advice, but he's a guy that I always sort of aspire to be like. So yeah.
Awesome. Any regrets?
No, I don't think so. It's all just learning.
Good. What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? Obviously my boys, my family. But yeah, I'm proud of what I build. I'm proud of what how I think and how active I am and how innovative I am. So yeah, I'm proud that I'm a proper I can solve problems. I think that's what I'm
Okay.
proud of. That I can show a bit of hard work.
Fantastic. What does legacy mean to you?
Just building that for the children, like we spoke about. So building memories for the children, and just being the best dad they could ever ask for. Yes, it gets stressful sometimes. Yes, I do lash out, but just be an awesome parent, and just build a strong future for my two boys.
Fantastic. And the last thing, where can people find you?
So Love Fitness Studios, that we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on LinkedIn. So, and we're also on Clubhouse now.
Yes, we talked about that. Yeah, we're both in the same boat with Clubhouse. There's a lot of value to be added, but I'm fed up hearing the billionaires telling me that I need to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so I'm getting a bit fed up with that. But I still think it will last, and I think it will last when people go back to their jobs, their sort of career jobs. I think there will be a dip in numbers, but I think where entrepreneurs and people like that who have a little bit more flexibility with their time, I think that's where it will keep its audience. I still think there's a great future for Clubhouse.
I think it is. I think it's still got a lot of learning to do. I still feel we're in the testing stage. I'm seeing today there was who was they call it a stage, don't they? Someone who was on the stage kicked one of the moderators out, and that caused an absolute yeah. So they actually blocked him from the room, and it was just someone that was on the stage. So there's still a lot of learning to go down, and I feel like it's so new that it could go one way or the other. It could just end up filling out with a load of nonsense, or it will just be the most successful, powerful networking tool out there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much for your time. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.
Cheers.